A new day, a new lawsuit, this time against the Idaho Republican Party by members of the Idaho Republican Party. Specifically, though, we'll talk about the executive committee of the Bingham County Republican Central Committee. Idaho GOP chairwoman Dorothy Moon is pushed to invalidate the Central Committee's election results and propose a new date to rerun the election. But the committee says there's no need. They say that the election followed bylaws and Moon has no ground to rerun the election. Andrew Bartline read through the lawsuit and talked to a member of the committee. And Andrew, I'm curious, why is Chairwoman Moon calling this election void in the first place?
Well, it's specifically about elections to fill 3 seats on the executive committee of Bingham County Republican Central Committee. A lot of committees there. Word salad, you get the deal. Anyway, Chairman Moon says the committee did not follow party rules. That's her first point, and the election must therefore start over. As you can imagine, Bingham County Republican Central Committee, they disagree. Chairman Moon has 2 complaints to directly address in this lawsuit. It includes the lack of a notice and the committee's use of a virtual meeting. She says they did it inappropriately. We'll break those down, but first we need to look at a timeline. This is going to give us some important context here. So the lawsuit says on June 15th that the BCRCC chairman at the time, Dan Cravens, announced he intended to resign. About a month later, he set an official date for his resignation that would be effective on August 1st. Precisely 7 days after that announcement, BCRCC met and they had to elect his replacement, I should say, and they did that. They elected Matt Thompson as their chairman, but he left 2 vacancies in his wake because he was wearing a lot of different hats. So the committee elected Jordan Johns to be the first vice chair and Ben Furman to be the state committeeman, which was no problem for a full month until on that 31st day, Chairwoman Moon filed a complaint.
She waited until the 31st day to inform us that she thought we did it wrong, and therefore, as the state chairwoman, it was her obligation to come and fix it. Why didn't she reach out to us on the first day and say, hey, you did something wrong? So, you know, we have our suspicions, but the bottom line is we're not going to get bullied around to reorganize our committee. We did everything per our rules and the state rules, and we would just like to move forward with the business of the county.
So on September 5th, Chairwoman Moon sent a follow-up letter to BCRCC. Now, in that follow-up letter, she has a couple complaints. They're listed right there behind me. She's finding that election was invalid. She announced that on the 11th, just a couple days later. Her complaint is about a lack of notice revolving around a 30-day period. Now, bylaws through the state and the county require an election for a replacement to be within 30 days of that vacancy. So that date would be on August 1st. And BCRCC's election happened before that vacancy date, but the bylaw does not specify if that election has to be after the vacancy takes place. They say that 30-day window, BCRCC argues, I should say, says that 30-day window could be on either side of that date specified. Additionally, Moon says they violated remote meeting rules. GOP party rules say committee members must see and hear each other on a virtual call. Well, the lawsuit admits the virtual call had technical problems and errors. However, only 1 voting member was on that call, and his attendance did not count because of it, and he did not get a vote because of it either. The committee appealed Chairwoman Moon's decision and is pushing back, saying they did nothing wrong and they do not want to rerun this election.
What's funny, too, that people need to understand is that the Central Committee is a state-created by statute organization. The Republican Party is a private organization. I am an elected official. When we have an election, you can't nullify that election. There has to be an appeals process to go through that. So, you know, Chairwoman Moon, Dorothy Moon's idea that she's going to come in on Monday and have a special meeting and simply redo the election, it bypasses every single rule that we have. And it does not make sense to me that she doesn't decide to say, oh, wow, let's actually follow the rules like I'm preaching that we should do.
So what do the rules say they should do? Well, the GOP, they have rules about this, and there's an appeal process, and that's written in this letter right here that we got our hands on. They must properly determine if the election was legal or not. That's the appeal process. It's a letter from the Idaho GOP first chairman, Daniel Silver, and he made that clear yesterday through the letter, and it tells Chairwoman Moon she cannot hold another election in the meantime. And if that wasn't enough, that second paper we have up here to my side is a district judge through a temporary restraining order that legally prevents prevents the GOP from holding a meeting Monday to re-elect these positions as well. So a hearing is now set for the end of the month, Joe, to determine the next steps forward, which this lawsuit hopes is just what would be the normal appeal process. As Moon has a concern, they'll confront that concern and see if they need to solve something or not.
So I'm curious, Andrew, why would Chair Moon, Dorothy Moon, keep pushing for a new election? Or I guess what would she get out of it?
So the lawsuit alludes to what they perceive to be a motive. So these 3 positions are on the State Central Committee. The State Central Committee are the people who vote on the party platform. I believe they have a vote on who the chairperson for the party is as well. They have a lot of say, and they come from these smaller central committees. And so if they don't exactly align with what she would want politically, again, this is what the lawsuit alludes to, yeah, you would want different people in those chairs that align with you politically so you can get things done that you agree with. And when I talked with Ben Furman, I should say, he kind of alluded to that as well, that maybe we don't agree exactly on what we want or don't want, but if you can get people in those seats that align with you, you have a lot of power and control.
Well, Andrew, it would appear that this story is yet another chapter in the rift within the Idaho GOP, something we'll continue to follow here on the 208. And yes, as that lawsuit makes its way through the court system, this will be another interesting one to follow. So Andrew Bartline reporting here on the 208. Andrew, thank you so much.